Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can manage your quotations using Quotation Manager. So let's open the project. Alright, in this project we have 10 documents, we have 17 codes, and we have 6 document groups. And as you can remember, in the previous videos we managed to create quotations and quote them within a few of these documents. For example, document D1, D3, D4 and D5 plus D8, D9 and D10. Alright, to open Quotation Manager, you need to go to the Home tab and then click on Quotations. Alright, as you can see, Quotation Manager, like Document Manager, has 4 panels. So the first panel here contains all of the codes that have been created in this project. You can see the codes here. In this panel, you can see the quotations, a list of the quotations. Here you can see the preview panel. So if I click on any of the quotations, a preview is displayed in this area. And here I have the comment panel. So in case that I click on any of the quotations with a comment is displayed here. All right, let me start with this panel here. As you can see, I have quotation numbers here, then I have quotation names. The next column is the document. So you can see that, for example, the first quotation is from this document, the second quotation is also from the same document. So you can see the documents that contain each of these quotations. Also, we have density values here, and density here refers to the number of codes that have been assigned to each of these quotations. For example, this quotation, which is quotation 4.1, has been coded only with one code, and that code is innovation. So under the column of codes, you can see the list of the codes that have been assigned to each of these quotations. For example, as another example, this quotation has been coded with 5 codes, and those codes are contribution, innovation, success, teamwork, and transformation. Also note that these 5 codes here are highlighted in the codes panel as well. So you can see that when I click on this quotation, these 5 codes are highlighted here: transformation, teamwork, success, innovation, and contribution. Alright, now we have some options here. If I want to open any of these quotations within a document, within its own document, I can simply double click on that particular quotation. So let's just try this one, double clicking on the quotation, and then you can see that ATLAS.ti will open the document, and I can see the quotation within the document. Let me close this document. Alright, also if I right click on any of these quotations, I still can rename them. I can add a comment, and I can also delete them. Let's just add a comment to this quotation. So I just select edit comment. This is a quotation created within an image file. Alright, then I just click on save. And now you can see this yellow flag here, which indicates that the quotation has a comment, and I can see the comment here. Alright, I'm sure that you have noticed that when you click on any of the quotations, a preview is displayed here. So let me just maximize this preview panel. Alright, because you can simply see the preview here, you can also consider coding these quotations as well if needed. For example, I can read this quotation here, and then I can right click on the quotation, then go to coding and select any of the approaches to coding that I can see here. So let's just try coding this quotation using a list coding approach. I just assign these 3 codes to this quotation, and I select OK. And now these codes have been assigned to this quotation. If I double click on this quotation, okay, now when I open this when I double click on this quotation, you can see that previously this quotation had been coded with 2 codes. Now it has been coded with 5 codes because I added 3 more codes to this quotation. So the codes that have been assigned to this particular quotation are administration, change, health, hospital, and innovation. But note that still here I can see only the first two codes that have been assigned to this quotation. But it is not a big deal if I just close this and reopen the quotation manager. I can see that this information has been updated now. So all of those those 3 codes have been assigned to this quotation. All right. Also note that when you have quotations in video documents, you can play them in this area by clicking on the quotation itself. Also, with respect to audio quotations, you can play them.
This is the Global News Podcast from the BBC World Service.
All right. Also note that some of the options that I talked to you about are available here. For example, renaming quotations and also deleting quotations or adding a comment to the quotations. Let me just drag this a bit over here because I wanted to show you something about this. All right. So also note that here we have the 3 approaches to coding: quick coding, open coding, and discoding. And rather than right clicking on any of these and selecting these 3 options, you can select them from here. So because the preview of the quotation is displayed here, you can simply do some coding if you would like to. So for example, I just click on this quotation here and I can see the content of the quotation here, and I can simply code this quotation with something. But this time, rather than using these approaches, I would like to show you how drag and drop coding works. To do drag and drop coding, you have to just go to the document, go to your codes list here in the Explorer section, and then drag and drop any of the codes, for example this one, on the quotation that you would like to code it. For example, quotation 4.2, and then you can see that this code has been assigned to this. Now the value has changed to 6, but still you can see only 5 codes here. It is just because the list of the codes here should be updated. And if you just close this and then open the quotation manager again, you will see that this has been updated, and now you have a list of all the 6 codes that have been assigned to this particular quotation. So drag and drop coding means that you simply click on any of the codes, drag and drop it over any of the quotations. Note that when I move my mouse over a few of the quotations, I can see a stop sign. It means that this particular quotation, for example quotation 1.1, has already been coded with the code health. That's why I can see this a stop sign, because I cannot simply recode this quotation with the same code. So if I just move my mouse, you can see that I can code quotation 1.2 with this code. I can also use some other codes with this, some other quotations with this code. So I just release my mouse here. Also note that I have quotation. Look at the, if you look at here, you can see that in document 1 I have 4 quotations. Quotation 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, and 1 5. So previously I deleted quotation 1 4, so that's why I don't have this quotation here. But I think, and to my experience, it's a good idea that after you work with your quotes and quotations, you always click on this renumber quotations button, because it just sorts all of your quotations based on number, and then it will be much easier for you when you report your research findings. So if I click on renumber quotations, you can see that this particular code now has changed to this particular quotation has changed to quotation 1 4 now. One more thing is that you can do drag and drop coding within each document. Let me just open one of the documents, for example this document. I can simply create a quotation here, right click, and then create a free quotation, for example here. Because there is no quotation here, I just created the quotation, and now I can drag and drop my codes. Anything that you want to assign to this quotation, you can drag and drop it over that particular quotation. Let's try this for another document, for example this document. Double click to open it. For example, I have this quotation here coded with theoretical foundation. I just code this with a few more codes using drag and dropping approach. So what you need to do is to just click on the code here, and then drag and drop the code over any of the quotations that you would like to assign the code to. All right. So there are two more options I would like to talk to you about. Number one is that you can merge the quotations within the same document with each other. So how it can be done? You can simply click on the quotations within the same document. For example, quotation 2 1, quotation 3 1 and quotation 3 2. So because these two come from the same document, you can simply merge them. How it can be done? Just select these two. It could be even a few quotations, it doesn't matter, and then click on merge quotations. Basically it's a two-stage approach. So first you need to select the quotation into which you would like to merge the remaining quotations, and then you have to select any of these two options to just merge the quotation to merge the quotations. So based on how you define this merge can happen, or if you don't want to merge them, you can simply cancel this operation. And the last thing that I'm going to talk to you about is how to establish relationships between quotations. Of course, we will talk about this issue in more details when we focus on creating networks, but here I just very briefly show you how two quotations can be linked to each other using these two buttons. So to establish a relationship between two quotations, you need to define which quotation is the source and which one is the target in this relationship. So let's just assume that the content of this quotation 5.1, is related to the content of quotation 2.1. So 5.1 is related to 2.1. So 5.1 will be our source in this relationship. So if I want to link 5.1 with 2.1, I need to select 5.1 first, then click on source, link source, and then I have to click on the other quotation and then select link target. Now here I have to define how these two quotations are related to each other. I mean how quotation 5.1 is related to quotation 2.1. So if the content of quotation 5.1 discusses the content of the quotation 2.1, you can select this option. If the content of the quotation 5.1 justifies the content of the quotation 2.1, you can select this option. If the content of quotation 5.1 criticizes or supports the content of quotation 2.1, you can select either criticizes or supports. Now I want to select this one because I'm just assuming that the content of quotation 5.1 contradicts the content of the quotation 2.1. So I just select contradicts. Now these two quotations are linked with each other, and if I want to show you this relationship, I can simply click on Open Network, and now I just drag and drop quotation 5.1 and 2.1 here. Forget about the rest of the data elements that you can see here. We will talk about networks in more details in the subsequent videos, but here I want to show you that this is the relationship that just now we established between quotation 5.1 and quotation 2.1. So the content of quotation 5.1 contradicts the content of quotation 2.1, and you can visualize this relationship within a network. I don't save this network because I told you we will talk about networks later. Just note that the relationship between these two quotations still exists, and I didn't cut the relationship between these two quotations. I just didn't save the network. And with respect to reports, I just need to tell you that we will have another video focusing on creating reports. So that concludes this video presentation. Thank you so much.